Girl, and this is why the internet will never cease to amaze me. So boom. Guess who I just got off the phone with? Guess. Somebody from my past who found me on TikTok. And that's the thing about putting yourself on social media. You never know who from your past the video might come across. But it just so happened that my video came across one of my regulars. So boom, I used to live in the South, right? I used to live in South Carolina. Let me tell you something. I hated living in South Carolina, because living in South Carolina as someone who exists outside of the gender binary, as someone who is intersex, as someone at the time was identifying as trans, and I could not tell anybody that I was trans, because if I told people I was trans, it was not going to end well with me, because people in the South have very strong opinions, and they're not afraid to voice it. And let me tell you why. So boom, I have this. So boom, I don't know where it cut off, but yeah, I had to wear a male's uniform shirt because they didn't have one my size. And I remember trying to size down so that I can have somewhat of a shape, but sometimes the buttons would like buckle and you would see the gapping. So it was just a thing. It was just a thing. And they started questioning, and it started off as little jokes, and they would try to change my name. My name is Michelle, and they would try to change my name. And there was a floor plan that we would walk into, and in the floor plan you would have your name and what section you would be in for the day. And I remember the day that the name changed, and I'm looking and I'm like, who's Mitchell? Who's Mitchell? And I go to the back and I'm like, oh, we got somebody new. And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, who's Mitchell? And they're like, oh, that's a nickname that we gave you. And I'm like, that's not my name. And they're like, oh, that's a nickname that we gave you. And I was like, so boom. That's what made it dangerous. That he showed interest in me. And she knew what she was doing. She knew that he showed interest in me, and all of the girls, even though they had partners, they had a crush on him because he was the tallest one and he was covered in tattoos and he was handsome. Okay, they all wanted a piece of him. Okay, that was their work husband. So they knew that he was showing a little bit of interest in me, and she knew what she was doing with that. She knew what she was insinuating. She knew what she set up, and she set me up. I grabbed my food and I left to my table. And I went about my business. When I went back to the kitchen, there was no ice in the lineup. There's like a